Right, in this video, I'll go through questions 4, 5, and 6 with you. In question 4, you have this ball thrown upward from the top of a cliff with an initial velocity of 32 feet per second. The height of the ball after t seconds is represented by this function. So these should actually be t's, not x's. But when you plug it in the calculator, it's going to end up being x's anyway. So a couple things that we just talked about. This graph opens down because a is negative. It's a negative 8. The y-intercept is 40, and the question will ask that. I want to point your attention right here. It says to graph this using the interval 0 to 5. That's going to be really important. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to plug this right into the calculator. I don't have a TI Nspire here at home, so I'm just going to type this in. But you know how to type this into your calculators at school there. So you got your negative 8x squared plus your 32x plus 40. All right, you're going to graph it. You're going to get your table, and it tells you exactly what the table needs to be. You're going to go from 0 to 5. So you're going to take this, and you're just going to create a T-chart, essentially. So let me do this so I can see both. That's not very helpful. Okay, so I'm going to create a T-chart here. I have X and I have Y. And X is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not just making up those numbers. They said graph it from 0 to 5. So that's exactly where that's coming from. And now if I look over here, when X is 0, this is 40. When X is 1, this is 64. And then it's going to be when X is 2, the height is 72. Then back down to 64. Then back down to 40. And then back down to 0. Okay. All right. So let me maximize this. Shoot. I didn't know I was going to put it right there. Man, that's frustrating. Okay. Can I move this? No. Exit. Move. That's great. Can I move this? That's annoying. Anyways, so you could see the table. You have the table down. All right, I'm going to have to erase that table. Okay, so you have your table of values. You can see that X goes from 0 to 5. So we're going to put on the X-axis here time. And on the Y-axis here, this is going to be height in feet. The time went from 0 to 5 seconds, so I'm going to be fine going up by ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then on the y-axis, we have to go up to a height of 72. So if we go by tens, this would be 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So I'm just kind of putting every other one on there just because it's kind of a pain in the butt to write on this thing. Okay, so at 0, the height was 40. At 1, the height was 64. So about there. At 2, the height was 72. At 3, it was 64. At 4, it was 40. And at 5, it was 0. So then we're just going to graph this parabola, a nice smooth curve through those points. Okay. So that's our graph. That point on the table, the 272, that's your vertex. This is your vertex. So t is the seconds, h is the height. So this 2, this is seconds, this 72, this is height. And we're going to need that for these next couple of questions. All right. So for part A, describe the meaning of the y-intercept. So I'm just going to do it up here so you can see it. The y-intercept was 0, 40. I'm just taking that right from the table. So I know that 0 is seconds and 40 is the height. So the ball was thrown, or the ball started at a height of 40 feet. The ball started at a height of 40 feet. Anything along those lines. That's the y-intercept describing what it means. All right, let me go on to part B and C. The greatest height the ball reaches, that's 72 feet. That's just literally from the table. We saw that. And how many total seconds is the ball in the air? 5 seconds. Because the ball was in the air, it was thrown from the cliff, started at 0 seconds. It took 5 seconds before it hit the ground. How do I know it hit the ground at 5 seconds? Because in the table, you have this point 5 and then 0. So if the height's 0, it's hitting the ground. So it took from 0 to 5 seconds to go up and hit the ground. All right, let me move on to the next one. And the last one, question 6. Okay, so you got to do a couple things here. You have to figure out what X and Y are. X is the price that they're going to sell the teddy bears for, and Y is the profit. So very important that we know X is price of teddy bear, Y is profit. So we have to find the vertex algebraically. So the formula we use to do that is X equals the opposite of B divided by 2 times A. And this is the first thing I'd encourage you to write down on your test. X equals the opposite of B divided by 2 times A. So here goes. So when we plug this in here, A is going to be equal negative 0.1. B is going to equal positive 9. C equals negative 50. We don't need it for this formula, so I'm not going to bother showing that. So when you plug into this formula here, you're going to get the opposite of B, so negative 9, divided by 2 times negative 0.1. And when you do this in the calculator, make sure you use control divide. You're going to do that. You're going to get a value. And when you do, I believe you get a positive, 45. Yeah, 45. You're going to have 45. So then what you're going to do after you get the 45, and this is what we did last class, you're going to go put this equation into your calculator. Whatever letters are there, you're always using X, nothing but X. So let's go here. Obviously, it's going to be different on your calculator. Negative 0.1 X squared plus 9 X minus 50. All right, now we have to go to 45 on the table. So on your calculators, same deal, you're going to have to scroll down till you get to 45. And then what you're going to see, your screen will just show 40. All you care about is 45. That's literally all you care about, because that tells you where the vertex is, and you should see that. That's the highest point, and then you have some symmetry around that. So we're just looking for the vertex. So it's going to be this point here. So the vertex is 45, 152.5. All right, so we found the vertex. Check. Describe its meaning. So now I'm going to take this point and I'm going to come back to what I did here, and I'm just going to write a sentence for what this means. I'm running out of room, so I'll do it down here. Sale price of $45 per teddy bear results in a profit of $152.50. All right, that's it. So you're going to do questions 1 through 6 on your test. You're going to start at 9:50. You have till 10:30. You don't have any extra time. So make sure that you get it done and turn it in. This is the only formula you need to know. X equals the opposite of B divided by 2A. As soon as you get your test, write that down. You're only doing question 1 through 6. All right, y'all. Sorry I'm not there with you today. Hope you have a good weekend.